physical ailments also at bay.
Hmm. Ichha Mrityu, and that point also was covered,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So he said that you have said this and that, but Sri Aurobindo said that I have not said all that. And yeah.
This question, can the supramental really make immortal a tottering old man? Well, with all his anatomy and physiology pathological. We looked at it?
We are at page 192, and we have to start with last night I was taking about.
Right. Got it. Yes, yes. So I think let us begin with the invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Hari Om. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Yes. So we continue this journey of correspondence which Dr. Nirodbaran is having with Sri Aurobindo. Some of the interesting aspects that Dr. Nirodbaran asked was about death, because Sri Aurobindo's yoga is ultimately about reaching that state of what we call Mrityunjay, reaching immortality also. What is that consciousness of immortality? It is a transformation. That is what the supramental yoga is about. And suddenly there was a news. There was a news of a death, and that death of somebody in the ashram. And according to Nirodbaran, this has broken all these thoughts, or the greatness of the yoga is now under question by so many people. And that is where Sri Aurobindo talked about the ideal and the practical. What is the ideal and how is it going to manifest? It is going to take its own time. What was the a system has to be established. Once that system is established, then it will be possible to move ahead. We look at the if there are any questions from our last session. I think Dr. Bhavana wants to add something, is it?
No, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah, we also saw about how force, isn't it, Dr. Bhavanaji? Some of you had shared an experience after your last session. If you would like to share something about it, about psychological force and treatment and how the divine
Yes,
force can
when
manifest.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Actually, when we discussed about immortality and other things and all, and I replied quite a few things from the medical side that what is experienced and all, and that I slept with that thoughts in my mind after attending this session. And early morning, 5 o'clock, from my sleep, I got up with a very sharp pain in my right eye. And it had a foreign body kind of sensation, as if some foreign body. In sleep, it is not possible to something to go inside my eye. But the pain was so sharp that I could not tolerate it. So after some time, I was just thinking that we are talking about immortality. There is no practically a simple conjunctival foreign body sensation and pain is making me very anxious. I felt like immediately going to ophthalmologist because I could not tolerate that as if a big foreign body inside my under my eyelid in my conjunctiva, and it was making me anxious. So I was thinking this is something we only talk about, and it is not possible like that. And I kept trying to wash my eye and other thing, and then I tried to fix up appointment at around 10 o'clock next morning. So I remember like from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock I had to tolerate all that. And then after everything was fixed up, my appointment at 10 o'clock, then I said how to reduce the pain by thinking something else other than what is there in the eye. So I was sitting for meditating, not meditating, I mean doing pranayama in front of Mother Sri Aurobindo's photo. And while While sitting in 2 minutes, some thoughts came to my mind. My God, who can think about and who can plan for the immortality in the cells and all? That's a real great victory, and even the thought of it is so great. And I felt this is wonderful that somebody exists here who think about and trying to manifest the immortality where others are in such a low state of consciousness that we are not able to control our own pain and sensation and feeling so anxious about. The moment the praise came from my heart, it was a real praise for their knowledge and their capacities and Mother Sri Aurobindo's photo. And the moment I start getting that from my heart, I had suddenly remembered, oh, where is the pain gone? The pain totally disappeared. And yeah, it cannot happen. From 5 o'clock, I was suffering. And in a second, just that thoughts of praise. That's a real praise from my heart. That my God, it would be so wonderful if humanity achieves all that. And that thoughts itself finished my pain. I said, where it has gone? Just disappeared. So I felt it's a spiritual experience by directly in front of Sri Aurobindo's photo. I am there, and my praise from inside has the curing capacity. What in last discussion we saw that yes, it can be cured like that. We
Sherwin,
have
that
read.
was one
Yeah,
point we did cover about
yeah.
how force, psychological force, can actually bring about changes in the body.
We
Treatment.
heard about occult causes of a disease, occult causes of pain. So I felt this was some occult cause because I was sleeping. Foreign body cannot go in my eye, but the sensation was exactly foreign body. So I was thinking probably it was my occult problem and it was solved by Sri Aurobindo. Like that I
Did
felt.
you did you tell that to your ophthalmologist?
I just cancelled. I'm not coming. I was
He
so
did not
happy to
say,
do that.
doctor, why doctor did you not come?
No, no, no,
He
nothing.
didn't ask
I'm
you.
very senior. She cannot do that. So
Okay,
I
so
have
she
written a
cannot.
verbatim. The 8 o'clock, I have sent the verbatim that what my
Yes.
experience was that I will share in the group. I
Uh,
haven't shared. Yeah.
right, right. No, I remember that. I just wanted to just highlight about how these are forces. These are forces which manifest. We have forces which are in a different plane. And the entire yoga of Sri Aurobindo is about this manifestation. And when does the manifestation take place? When the ground is conducive for manifestation. We talk about supramental manifestation. In our own life, so many manifestations can take place when we are ready and we are what we can say the ground is ready, it takes place. Otherwise, it does not. It is as simple as that. So here, what is this? Dr. Nirodbaran is actually getting quite upset by what is all of this. And Shervindo talks about how the ground must be readied. Then maybe the Mrityunjay, the real Mrityunjay can also be established. But until the ground ready is readied, these games will take place. Dr. Bhavna talked about her own eye trouble. Shervindo also underlined my eye in his previous correspondence that
Ah, yes. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
okay. So these are all what we can say. Some of the Vyavaharik Satyas Krishna talks about, isn't it? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. These cannot be ignored. They are truths which have to be accepted. Not acceptance does not allow us to move ahead also. The only way we accept is when we understand that this is not the end and there is a consciousness which is enveloping, which is surrounding us, which is ever present, which connects us with what? With that supreme divine who is the source, and we are also a part of it. It is something which can come in little moments of life as well. And that is what is our sadhana also, the aim of the sadhana, to reach that state where no more are we affected, no more are we disturbed, only we are connected with that divine consciousness. So let us continue. Share, Dr. Nirodbaran asks a question as Aditi said last night. Last night I was talking, I was taking a walk. Last night I was taking a walk in the yard when I began to feel that it was not I who was doing the walking, but some form which I did not know at all. It seemed to be devoid of much vitality or consciousness. As I came into the area where it was a little darker, the things that were lying about looked peculiar, as if they existed in a dreamland. And in the midst of them was this form walking about like one in sleep. Is it all imagination? So, a spiritual experience that Dr. Nirodbaran received, he is sharing. He has been complaining, no, of not receiving any spiritual experiences, but if you look at it by now, we have come across so many spiritual experiences that Dr. Nirodbaran received. So but he's asking this: is it all imagination? How many times have we asked this question to ourselves? Is it all imagination? Yeah, imagine something
This
brilliant happens.
time,
Something. Yes, yes, Dr. Bhanaji.
can I?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
time
please.
it was very concrete. This was very concrete
Ha, ha.
experience that this is. I was awake fully 8 o'clock in the morning, and it did not arise from my brain. The thoughts came from my heart.
Hmm.
The praise
So
came
you
from
are
my heart.
confident.
So
You are
sometimes we feel
confident.
that God's, yeah, I am very confident. We always feel that God wants stuti. So it appears like, oh, somebody is trying to do poems, and God said
Hmm.
in
Yeah. So I think Dr. Bhavna is quite confident it was not
2 to 3 minutes,
imagination.
I forgot where it was. Yeah.
Gee. So Dr. Bhavna is quite confident it was not imagination. It was a realization. But many times we do get certain experience and we all think, is it an anubhuti? Is it something which is something higher? Is it some sakshatkar? Or is it just a game of thoughts, a play of the trick of the mind? And that is the problem. When you get that, then you don't know. And somebody got a Vishwarupa Darshan, and the first question, it was an imagination, is what they said. And then they got a second experience. She got a second experience where she got a Golu of a Vishwarupa immediately. And then she got confident that it was not just an imagination because she drew a link with that and this. But even if as a third person, when I looked at it, when that person shared her experience, it was so real, so palpable, almost as deep or maybe even deeper than what was described in the entire adhyay of the Gita. So it was not just an ordinary dream. It was an experience. But that sometimes is dismissed as imagination. Then it's a problem. And that's what Nirodhan got something, but he's asked, is it imagination? Let's go on. What does Sri Aurobindo say? It is a very usual experience. It means that for a moment you were no longer in your body, but somehow either above or outside the body consciousness. This sometimes happens by the vital being rising up above the head, or more rarely by its projecting itself into its own sheath, part of the subtle body, out of the physical attachment. But it also comes by a sudden, even if momentary liberation from identification with body consciousness. And this liberation may become frequent or prolonged or permanent. The body is felt as something separate or some small circumstance in the consciousness, or as something one carries about with one, etc., etc. The exact experience varies. Many sadhaks here have had it, when one is accustomed, the strangeness of it, dreamland, etc., disappears. So this is something. So it's not something which is out of the blue. It's not some radical imagination. Dr. Nirodbaran is Sherwindo is telling him. It is a very common experience. It's a usual experience where you suddenly realize you're not the body or you identify yourself more than your body. That is an experience. Like Adi Shankara, he got, isn't it? न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे जाति भेद पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बंधुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्य चिदानंद रूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे. He's not this. I'm not the mind. I'm not this body. I'm not my ears. I'm not my eyes. I am something bigger. I am that consciousness. This is a feeling many sadhaks. Why? Why do they get it? Because they seek it, isn't it? They seek that consciousness and so they get it. So it is not something unbelievable or radical because that way our body is going to get changes. Outer aspects may change. All of these things will change, but there is something that is not going to change. And that is consciousness. So when these sadhaks, they understand it, they don't think it's a dream or it's an imagination, but they start getting accustomed to it because they slowly start getting aware. Like Dr. Bhavana ji, she was having some pain and some illness. She suddenly disconnected from that illness by connecting with a higher consciousness that allowed her to move out and get a kind of a liberation, isn't it? A liberation from the physical pain. Like that, this realization can also bring liberation from all our frustrations because we are many times trapped in this Prakriti. The Prakriti is working through the gunas. And how is it that we are moving in the gunas? Brahman sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. This maya is making everybody. Today I am doing this, I am identifying myself in this post, another is identifying in another post. But actually, the divine is moving around, isn't it? The consciousness is moving beyond what is the physical consciousness. When the sadhak understands, the sadhak is not frustrated, the sadhak is calm, the sadhak is peaceful and is able to see things at its face value and recognize, ki, yes, I am more than my physical body. It allows us to become free. We got an example today of Dr. Bhanaji getting freed from physical pain. This way, there are so many others, sometimes mental anxieties, mental worries, some pressures, some things are not happening. Many times people feel, isn't it, that some things have to happen at a particular time, otherwise, it's of no use. The clock is ticking. Now, what is going to happen? Now, nothing is going to happen. I think there's no requirement to do all of it. Instead, connect with the higher consciousness. Whatever is a dream-like or surreal will suddenly start appearing practical also. There's a nice phrase, isn't it? A miracle doesn't go against nature. A common used aphorism. It goes against what we understand about it. I think it was first, I think when I was in school, I read about this by Paulo Coelho. I think he had written this somewhere in a book. That miracles don't go against nature, they go against our understanding of nature. So this aspect of a person being accustomed to this experience of a outer body consciousness. Sri Aurobindo gave beautiful explanations why this feeling happens. If you see, he says it's the vital being rising up above the head. That was one thing. Or it's projecting itself into a subtle body, out of the physical attachment. We identify ourselves with our body only, isn't it? Many times, I am my hands, I am what I am. But only when you have these higher moments where sometimes you start feeling you feel one with another person sometimes. Sometimes you feel very, very calm on the inside when you go into dhyana. You become sometimes one with a higher vision of some divine, some realization, which will some will take you away. Away from what? From the physical bodies only. That is normal. It is not strange. It is not an imagination. It becomes regular, is what Sri Aurobindo says. And when it becomes regular, what happens if somebody's person in someone's life miracles happen every day? What will that person feel? Yes,
He will not feel miracles. For him, it will be normal.
it will become normal, isn't it? Isn't that what many Shishyas experience with their gurus? They see multiple miracles happening in their lives or in the guru's life, and so many things happening, and they are taking it normally. Well, that is it. Now let's continue. Dr. Nirodbaran says, I propose to go to the hospital 3 or 4 days in a week because I think it will help my work. But please don't say later on that I was following closely my predecessor, Esculap, in trying to be a big doctor. Sri Aurobindo replies, Mother fully approves of your attending. She considers it helpful in many ways, so have no scruples, Esculapian or otherwise. Esculapian, okay. Dr. Nirodban, he says, may I use a cycle to go to the hospital? Sri Aurobindo, where will you keep the cycle there? If there is a safe place, you can have the cycle. See, human nature everywhere, isn't it? Cycles also sometimes would be lifted, shoes also. Even Sri Aurobindo's chapel, somebody had once tried to take away. So let's continue. Where human beings are there, there we are going to have
I have
human
a
nature.
question.
Yes, Javiji, most welcome.
So here, Dr. Nirodbaran means to go to the Pondicherry hospital like
Yeah,
thrice
in the
yearly.
ashram, there was this. Yes, yes, yes,
So in the ashram also, like there is a clinic where he sits, but there
yes,
was also
yes.
another hospital.
Yes, there was a hospital which was a little different from that.
Okay, so his intention of going there was to help with the patients, or was it to
Yeah,
learn?
probably help the patients or get some, it will help him get experience also to learn
Okay, understood. Yeah.
because he had come and he had studied in England and he was now practicing here. No matter what, I think doctors keep working and seeing patients and then understanding, isn't it? Different advancements. That is how it works.
Okay,
Then,
understood.
yeah, all right. Dr. Nirodbaran asked the question. Excuse my returning to the question of S's death. I would infer from your letter that sufficient force was not called in, so he died. Shervindo replied, how could he himself call in on receive and assimilate the force in his body when the body was in fits or unconscious? Nirodbaran goes on. I think this is clear. Means his body was not fit, so he could not draw. That question does not arise. Dr. Nirodban, from whatever you have said in joke or in earnest, it logically follows that you are immortal. Because if you say that supramental can alone conquer death, one who has become that is evidently and consequently immortal. So if one is immortal or has conquered death, no poison or accident can affect him. So this dialogue is again everybody get interested in Sri Aurobindo's yoga because they feel, yes, I'm going to live for 500,000 years because this is the yoga of immortality. And so that is an attraction to everybody in the initial stages. And then they don't understand what is this immortal consciousness, what is that. I think we also had a question in a session, isn't it? How many of you would like to live for 5,000 years? Nobody raised their hand. They had said, I don't want. Because then what was that? What was this immortality? It's like how many of you want to wear the same dress every day? Anybody would enjoy same colored dress or we prefer wearing different ones?
But if we have been asked this question that do we want to live for 5,000 years, and if every day is a resource to connect with the divine, shouldn't every day be counted and shouldn't we try to maximize the resources?
Absolutely, but I'm just saying is everybody in the class said 5,000 years. My friends won't be there. Generations are changing in every 10 years. After 5,000 years, I don't want to tolerate all of it. I may not be able to process it. But if you see, as you said, that is the ideal. That is the approach, the Vedantic approach. Because I think we have not yet reached a state where we can break the code of the body, isn't it? To live that long. That is the aspiration. You see, the Chiranjeevis they have broken it. They are around. Now we celebrated Hanuman Jayanti recently. So here, Hanuman is there, that Maharudra. He is always around. Like that, there might be some ways to break that code, but what Sri Aurobindo is saying, and everybody immediately felt that Sri Aurobindo has, because his yoga is about realizing. They all felt we are also supposed to receive it. Naturally, we are going to get what the Guru is going to do. Shishya feels, no, if Guru gets some realization, the Guru will pass it on to everybody. So that is what their thought was. And so that was shattered when they saw that Sri Aurobindo is having eye trouble. A person here died. What is the meaning? How can it happen? And then that time when Sri Aurobindo talked, Dr. Nirodbaran is now saying that, you see, you have already indicated. That means you have become confident that you are now immortal. That's his question. So let us see what Sri Aurobindo replies. He says, your syllogism is one who became supramental can conquer death. Sri Aurobindo has become supramental. Sri Aurobindo has conquered death. So this is this entire hypothesis of Dr. Nirodbaran. Sri Aurobindo replies, first premise is right. Sorry, first premise right, which is one who becomes supramental can conquer death. Second premise premature. Sri Aurobindo is saying the second one, that is Sri Aurobindo has become supramental. He is doing the yoga for supramental but has not yet achieved that supramentalization is what he is saying. He is calling this assumption as premature. This is of the 1935, as on 1935. Conclusion, at least premature and in any case excessive. For can conquer has turned into has conquered is equal to is immortal. It is not easy, my dear doctor, to be a logician. The human reasoning animal is always making slight inaccuracies like that in his syllogisms, which vitiate the whole reasoning. This might be correct. One who becomes wholly supramental conquers death. Sri Aurobindo is becoming supramental. Sri Aurobindo is conquering death. But between is conquering and has conquered is a big difference. It is all the difference between present and future, logical possibility and logical certitude. It's very clear. He's just explaining to him that assumptions based on premature conclusions and logic shouldn't be made. Sri Aurobindo goes on, Dr. Nirodbaran goes on. I hope I haven't made a rigid mental conclusion. Sri Aurobindo, he says, the premise is false. I have never said that I am supramental. I have always said that I have achieved the overmind and am bringing down the supramental. That is a process, and until the process is complete, it cannot be said that I am supramental. Of course, when I say I mean the instrument, not the consciousness above or the person behind which contain all things in them. So here Sri Aurobindo is saying I as in himself, not the supreme Purusha or not that supreme divine. He says, I have, but one thing he has announced, that is in 1935, he has reached what is the overmental consciousness. So that is something which is something interesting. And he's most of the time when yogis speak, they speak from their anubhava, and their words are sometimes good enough for as a pramana. So here he has said that, and he's aspiring for it, and he has said, I have not yet achieved in bringing it. So it was a
I have a
big,
question
big
again.
yoga.
So,
Yeah,
what's the
Joyji.
difference between supramental? Because we are using this word supramentalist many times. So, what
Yeah.
is exactly that thing? And then here, Sri Aurobindo said that he has already achieved the status of over mind, right?
Overmind.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between these two, and what are these two?
Right. Okay, that's a nice question. Johiji has asked. One is about the overmind, and another is about the supermind or the supramental consciousness. If you see, one is supramental consciousness is the name of that ultimate consciousness, which is going to bring about a transformation of the entire universe. The yoga of Sri Aurobindo is about bringing that transformation. Transformation in what? That transformation in matter. If you see in Savitri, there's a beautiful line, and the matter shall reveal the spirit's face. When will that happen? When there is the hidden divine. No, we are all saying, no, from the ancient times, all our scriptures talk about it. That inside of us is an immortal consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita also there is some consciousness which we say, Nainam Chindat Shastrani, Nainam Dahti Pavaka. But are we aware? No, we are not. Because we are connected with our bodily consciousness, with our indriyas. With our mind, we can sometimes rise beyond the pool of indriyas. Say, I want to eat chocolate all the time, but my mind can control and say, I do not need it, it's not good, or let me at least reduce my intake or stop myself right now. That is the control of the mind. But mind also functions from what? Logic, reason, experience. But can an individual's experience be universal's experience, complete experience of universe? No, it will still remain individual. Meaning that person's mind is limited by the individuality. So there is a need, that is what the yogis understood, to rise beyond the individual consciousness. So there were levels beyond the mind. So there is this illumined mind, like there's a higher mind, there is a illumined mind, like that there's an overmind, and ultimately it is a supermind. Overmind is that state where probably the ideas and the gods ideas are sent, and from there it is received. So Sri Aurobindo is saying that he has reached this. As the Guru is talking about the ability to receive what? Receive higher consciousness from the divine directly. In the Isha Upanishad we have, isn't it? Kavi, Manishi, Paribhu, Swayambhu. The Swayambhu is the final state where the oneness is reached. So like that, overmind is the state where probably you get great intuition, great wisdom. You might get clairvoyance of certain things. Sri Aurobindo was aware of what is going to happen in Bharat. Sri Aurobindo was aware of the movements of forces. So that overmental consciousness allowed him to observe, to become a sakshi, to become a witness, and maybe even a player who was able to consciously send his force.
Screen is frozen.
It seems he's rejoining. Let's wait.
Namaste, can you hear me? Hello? Hariom?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, there's some problem. I think I'll have to hold the phone in my hand. I'm not able to see the network. The reason It's falling again and again. Yeah, Joey, so what did you hear last? Did you hear about these two things, the supramental and the overmind? I thought I was.
I only heard about this overmind that he is able to receive the God's will or the reception directly, and
Yeah,
he knew what's happening in India, and maybe he also took part or like in sending the forces to
yeah,
whatever was happening. I only
yeah.
heard that. Rest
Yes.
is
So
missed.
what do you think is this God's will? Means gods are there in the overmind, or what do you think, Ji?
Pardon?
What do you think? What is this God's will? Receiving the God's will.
Or like what's gonna happen? Like because once we have told about the story that even he did not had to receive it in the brain. So like whatever he used to write that this is gonna happen tomorrow or like in a week, it used to happen, and then he was directly writing.
Yeah. So
So
maybe
maybe
that is
something like that.
important. Yeah, yeah. We get some intuition, and that glimpse allows us to probably perceive and visualize things, how they are going to happen. And that was
Now this leads
exactly what he was receiving. Yes, Ji.
Now, this leads me to another question. So, in Bhagavad Gita, we have also seen, or maybe somewhere, that we should be receptive of divine's will so that
Yes.
we can act as a perfect medium as
Yes.
per God's need or
Yes.
Kanha's need.
Yes.
So, being receptive and being in overmind state, how are these two different then?
I know reception is you receive so many things, isn't it? Somebody receives a small glimpse of an idea, they understand like a small will is there, no? Then there are some who receive a clear idea, no? Say if friends are planning a party. You just know they are planning a party. You don't know what is there in it. So you are receptive to the idea of the party, but you're not fully receptive to everything, isn't it? But when you know all the minute details, you actually go get a full blueprint of things, then it becomes different, isn't it? So the overmental
Okay.
consciousness here is the consciousness which allows us to have what a perfect shruti of what? Of the divine will. Rajiv ji is adding something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to say this that in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna.
Ji.
Now, Arjuna approaches him for guidance, and Krishna is trying to tell him what to do. Through all the verses that happen in the Bhagavad Gita, when it finally comes to the end, Arjuna says, Nashto moha smriti ladva, tvat prasadan maya chuta, sitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. So what it means there is nashto moha, whatever is the moha that I had. And what is that moha? That moha is basically that he is Arjuna. He is this body, mind, intellect, and he is driving the whole thing. So that is the moha which he gets rid of completely. And he says that all this is gone now. And now the only thing that remains for me, I mean, you and me are not different. And in that case, what remains is how do I use this instrument to fulfill your will? And that is the only thing that is remaining now ahead of me. So that is why, through your grace, I have been able to uh, get over the moha part of it. That is, this body consciousness is completely lost now. And all what I was saying earlier is no more relevant. And what is of relevance is only your words, and that is God's will. And then that God's will and the communication between them, because they are part of the same thing. So that is the end of the Bhagavad Gita. So this, I think, has got some relevance to the question being asked now and the matters that we were discussing. So I thought I would just put it.
Yes, sir, Rajiv ji. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Yes. So this aspect, I think, is I got a message from Sharda Maji. The voice is breaking, is it? Or you can hear me now? You can hear me. All right. Let's continue. So there is a state of overmind which has certain benefits and certain things, and the state of the supermind that is actually much higher. Supramental consciousness is that ultimate consciousness which Sri Aurobindo has talked about, which Dr. Nirodbaran also doesn't have much of an idea, and I also don't have too much of an idea yet. We're trying to understand what it is. So let us see. Is that okay, Johiji? Can we go ahead?
Can I
Ji.
have some?
Yeah, okay. Dr. Bhavna wants to add something. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
actually, what we have read about the automatic writing that Sri Aurobindo's
Yeah,
used to get, like his hands were writing directly from what is coming from beyond the mind. So, is it our mental capacity? Probably that must be over mental capacity.
yeah. Yes.
Automatic writing. Automatic writing is your hands are writing, not through your brain or your thought or something.
Exactly.
It's coming from
Yes.
above. That must be
Yes,
a capacity of the overmind. Looking
yes,
at it,
yes,
we know nothing, but
yes. Yes, because when you are connected there, then you receive from the divine works through you like a nimitta matra.
It is like the
Krishna.
flute,
Ah,
which plays
yes,
so
Rajav
beautifully
says.
because there is nothing inside it,
Yes,
actually.
yes,
So that is
absolutely.
nothing
why
that
Krishna plays it.
nothing that interferes.
Yes,
Yes,
there is
yes,
no
Nothing that
interference.
interferes. Yes.
Correct.
yes, yes, absolutely. That is something, and that is the overman.
Again,
Shervindu,
you keep
yeah.
telling about Kavi Manishi Paribhu Swayambhu. So it must be the Paribhu kind of.
Yes, absolutely. Means you're able to experience from the overmind is actually one of the highest states, higher than the intuition. It's like a clear moment, a crystal clear moment of clairvoyance, which comes in, some ideas come in immediately. You get a vision of things that are going to happen with a full clarity. Krishna was said to always operate in the state of that overmind only. The great avatar was able to understand, no, when Duryodhana is doing a different reaction. Shakuni is playing an altogether different game. Arjuna is already crying in the battlefield. Yet Krishna is laughing and smiling there. Why? Because the overmental intuition says, he is now saying this. He's creating a ground for me to tell the Gita. And now that Gita is going to go for the world several thousand years later. And he's going to finish his drama quite quickly in the end, and he's going to go back to doing what he's meant to do. So he's smiling. Oh, he's suddenly becoming smart, thinking he's smarter than me. Krishna is able to watch from that state. So it's a kind of a vairagya also comes in naturally, but it is something which is not a what they call shmashan vairagya. Disconnect from the world. The glimpses come, the intuition come, and action also starts happening from there. Conscious action. Let's continue. But what Dr. Nirodbaran is associating with the supermind is the conquer and the conquest of death, isn't it? Dr. Nirodbaran is looking at that as a supramental. When supramentalization takes place, even the greatest challenge of life, which is death, will also be overcome. So, what is this supramental? Is what he's having in his head, and he's getting confused every time he hears something which is, somebody is not has passed away or something has happened. Oh, Shervindo is having eye trouble. What does that mean? How can it happen? Let's continue. Dr. Nirodbaran says, because you are still subject to eye and throat trouble, would it mean that you haven't yourself conquered death? If that be so, am I to accept that supramental hasn't driven its roots into you? So, the same question we were talking about. He says, does that mean supramental has not yet reached you because you are still having material difficulties, material physical ailments? Shervindo replies, see above for the answer. Besides, I said, has driven its roots into matter. Am I matter? Means previously, Sri Aurobindo had talked about it being a soup. Like he said, I never say that I am supramental. I've always said that I have achieved an overmind, and I'm bringing down the supramental. So here he's saying that you are yet to establish it. So he just says, read what I have said before. And what is this supramental is the biggest question which is now troubling Dr. Nirodbaran. He's associating it with death only. Dr. Nirodbaran goes on. He says, though you say that death is possible because illness hasn't been conquered, I take it as a principle. Amal and myself firmly believe that those whom you have accepted are absolutely immune to death. This is like I think, conflict of interest, isn't it? In research papers, when people do a research and then somebody wants a particular result and then they try to show that result out, and then it's a conflict of interest. There is a bias, and here he says, no, whoever is following Sri Aurobindo is not going to die, according to Amal and young Dr. Nirodbaran. That is what he says. Sri Aurobindo underlined twice, accepted. Too comfortable a doctrine. It brings in a very tamasic syllogism. I am accepted by Sri Aurobindo. I am sure of supramentality and immune from death. Therefore, I need not do a damn thing. Supramentality will of itself grow in me, and I am already immortal. So I have all time and eternity before me for it to happen of itself. Like that. Does it sound true? Dr. Nirodbaran, he writes, I was myself going to write to you about Voronov and rejuvenation. Have you any idea why the monkey gland is used? I wonder how far the rejuvenation operation is successful. Sri Aurobindo replies. So we'll try to figure out, anybody if you want to, or I'll also search this. What is this experiment of Voronov? It was in 1935, something to do with a test of for breaking this mold of death. So many researches have been taking place, isn't it, since eternity, about how to beat death. Even now, we have a very famous billionaire who's trying to do that. Whether it is working or not, we can see in the face only. But all of those researchers also, since ancient times, all of them have died, but nobody got immortal. So here, Dr. Nirodbaran is asking, what about him? Is that successful, that rejuvenation operation? Nirodbaran replies, we'll look at this and we'll take it, we'll call it maybe two more questions we will see and then stop after that. It is successful partially and for a period. One cannot say more than that. But even that, rejuvenation for a period, is a tremendous progress. And how can one say where it will end? As for the monkey, it is because it is nearest to man and at the same time extremely vital creature. I mean full of vital force. As for the gland, it is because the seat of the physical energy is there, where it supports and reinforces all the rest. Voronoff's selection is perfectly logical and intuitive at the same time. We'll try to see what is this experiment of Voronoff. It was done in the year 1935, 90 years ago. Sri Aurobindo is asked another question. What does supramentalization mean exactly? Just give me a moment, because I think next 2-3 questions are about the supramental. We will continue 3 questions up to the March 27th, 1935. Yes? Can we just look at all 3? Yeah, all right. So the question is, what does supramentalization mean exactly? We know by your own statement that you have achieved that. Is it then supramentalization in parts? You want transformation of everything, mental to physical. Sri Aurobindo asks, achieved what? What statement? What are all these wild assertions? I spoke of an overmind force which is getting supramentalized in parts. Nirodbaran clarifies, does it mean that some parts of your being are supramentalized and the physical is not yet supramentalized? Sri Aurobindo replies, overmind in the process of supramentalization, not supramental. So you see, this is something, the overmind only is going to get transformed into what is a supermind. It is like a state of evolution. It's not like remove this software, insert another software. So that transformation is taking place. He says it has not become supramental. And it's what parts are you talking about? Dr. Nirodbaran, he asks a question. How can it be possible? Realization in parts, in your case. Sri Aurobindo replies, why not? Always the idea that there must be an instantaneous absolute miracle, or else nothing. What about processing things? You are ignorant of all that is between Supreme Spirit and matter, it seems. You know nothing of the occult processes of mind, life, and all the rest. So you can think only of a miraculous divinity, or else law of matter as known to science. But for supramental spirit to work itself out in matter, it must go through a process of transforming the immediate mental, vital, and other connections. Must it not? So, why should not the process be in parts? Immortality also can come by parts. First, the mental becomes immortal, not shed and dissolved. After death, then the vital, while the physical comes only last. That is a possible evolution recognized by the occult science. So, Sri Aurobindo says, stop looking for an immediate miracle. Stop looking for that immediate miracle which will bring about transformation. That's a very crude logic. It will happen slowly, slowly, the transformation takes place. You see, he's talked about first the mental being becomes transformed, then the vital, and the physical comes about last. So the transformation in the physical is the final transformation, isn't it? The last bastion of transformation. Is it easy to change our mind? Yes or no? We can change our mind. Can we change
Yes.
our body?
Difficult.
Body is the last, isn't it? I decided to follow a diet, but my body did not decide to follow, or my body is not complying because so many factors. It is what is one is sukshma, another is sthula. So the transformation will be the last in the sthula. Rajiv ji wants to add something? Yes, sir?
See, this statement that is made, first the mental becomes immortal, not shed and dissolved after death. Now, this is something which is reminding me of what Krishna is telling Arjuna when he
Yes, sir.
says that you and me have had many, many births, but
Ah.
you do not remember your births, but I remember them all.
Yes, yes.
So,
Absolutely.
so that is one indication of the mental not dying in the case of supramental.
Ji.
Perhaps, I mean, I don't know, just
No, why not? Why not? Why not? Sir? It is a good one. It is a good, wonderful one.
Another one from Gita.
Fourth
Like
chapter, correct. Bahuni me vetitani janmani tava Arjuna. Tanyam something like that, I think. That is.
yeah. One more I'm remembering. That is, it is taking like flowers. This thing. I mean, after the soul leaves, it takes from the mental and other portions, like gandha,
Uttaramantam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam. In the
gandham.
15th chapter, I think.
Yeah, it is
The
there.
transition of the soul,
So,
which takes.
we shed our mental while after coming out from the body. That is
Yes.
in the Gita. But this is going ahead. This is going ahead that it is never shed. It is taken
Yes.
continuous. Yeah.
And that is what Krishna is saying, that I remember everything.
Hmm.
You do not
Yes.
remember
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that is where it comes.
Then Janma Karma Chame
Okay,
Divyam.
good. Thank you very much for yes, different. Why is it different? And the one who knows that it is different,
Ah,
he is liberated.
he becomes free, he becomes immortal,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
That
So that
consciousness
is the
comes.
supramental that I think
Yes, yes. Probably
is
we have
getting
to,
missed.
yeah, that is what. What is going to happen, what transformations are going to take place, that is yet to be experienced. Why not have an
Correct.
experience rather than mentally, logically try to dissect it and try to give our own mental constructs? Instead, just recognize that this happens. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something which happens in a process.
Correct.
Yes, yes, sir. We're, I think, now getting closer, isn't it, to supramental? Something Sherwindo is now talking
Yes.
more about it.
I got the point now.
What, yes, what was a phantom topic which was not known is now slowly
Slowly
becoming
getting
known.
unfolded.
And it will
Yes.
go on now as the correspondence goes deeper, it looks like.
Correct.
So I think with
Yes.
this, we are ready to conclude. If anybody wishes to ask or share something, you are welcome. After which we'll have the Shanti Mantra.
I have a question. So
Yes,
I
Srinidhi.
understood this part that like even Sri Aurobindo has written like all sort of evaluation of brain when we are into spirituality. जैसे कि हम first second classes में होते हैं.
Means
Similarly,
who
brain
is
का भी
not into
evaluation
spirituality?
spirituality से similar. No? Pardon?
Who is not into spirituality?
पता नहीं.
Everybody is walking on the path. Means people are all are whether or not they acknowledge it, whether or not they experience it, they are seeking something higher. Anybody's conscious, they are what we call say spiritual. Sometimes people say
Okay.
the name of God all the time. No, God only knows. God only knows. They keep parroting that. God is
Mm-hmm.
doing everything. But ultimately, it is they are who are doing everything and they're not spiritual. They're just being very material but trying to claim to be spiritual. So it's very difficult to identify who is into spirituality. That's why I just interrupted. Yes, ji.
No. So, okay, getting back to your point, so I can conclude that everyone is into spirituality because everyone is seeking something higher.
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
Okay. Getting back to what I was saying, so above over mind, we have supramental mind.
Yes.
So is it attached to the soul or like because obviously we saw
Now,
like
we
somewhere,
saw that the overmind only gets transformed, isn't it, to the supermind?
like it's a sort of a graduation thing which converts.
Yeah, it's a
So
something like,
it's
yeah, it is.
soul basis, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
ऐसा होता है कि
supermind is also connected with matter. Means it's something like, there's a link between a matter and spirit. Supramental knows that. We were discussing, no, Dr. Bhavanaji was talking about how physical, her ailment she had. She booked an appointment with the ophthalmologist, and suddenly some occult force undid that ailment. She didn't have to go to the doctor at all afterwards. The pain also disappeared, isn't it? So there's a link, and that link is what the supermind is. Yeah?
okay. So it's more confusing than I'm thinking. Understood that part at least.
Arey. Gee. I think we will all try to experience, and that would be the fun
Yeah.
part.
Actually, it
Then
will be.
trying to
Uh,
let us
if
wait,
it will.
let us wait.
uh, If it will, it is revealed to us, there will be no doubts. I'm sure.
And I think any one of us gets it,
That
will share
much
it with
I'm sure.
everybody,
That
isn't
if
it?
one day, if it is revealed to.
Yes. And if anybody does receive, get it, I think we will all be like good friends sharing it, isn't it? So what is the way, how to do it, what is realized?
Is it
Yes.
not the
Okay, so
con?
getting back,
Sorry.
Okay.
please
Sorry.
continue.
Somebody. Yeah. Renuji is saying something. Yes. Ji.
Yes, I was just saying that is it not the consciousness which is evolving? That is the supramental part.
No, consciousness is evolving. We are talking about what is that evolution of consciousness, and that is the name given to it as supermind
That
by
is,
Sri
yes,
Aurobindo.
that is the supramental part.
Yeah, the supramental manifestation is said to be manifesting, means Like in the Gita, avyakta becomes vyakta.
Right.
When that takes place, that is called supramental manifestation. To bring about supramental manifestation, you need that state of mind, and that is a supermind.
Yes. That awareness, that consciousness through which
Yeah,
get the intuition, the wisdom.
yeah, absolutely. The consciousness which can bring about a transformation,
Right.
that is a supramental consciousness. And
Yes.
to bring about, we need that wisdom of the transformer.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will not.
And that consciousness is in sync with the higher consciousness, we can
Of the
say,
divine, which is manifesting.
of the
Yes.
divine, and we draw the energy or the shruti which we are discussing, that we hear something, but it is not in form of words, that is in form of vibration, and we just
Yes.
pen down
Yes.
in the form of words.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Would anybody like to summarize some of the things that we saw today? After which we'll conclude. Yes, please.
We saw, like, I will add some points.
Yes, yes.
Maybe others can add to that. So we saw that we were talking about supramental and overmind. Uh,
Yeah.
Sri, Arbi- uh, Sri Aurobindo said that he is on the way to become supramental. He has not yet become one, and supramental uh,
In
supramental
in
status also.
1935. Just to
Yes,
clarify, this was in
yeah,
1935.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, ji.
And being supramental means having won over death, something like that. There was this
Yeah,
discussion.
supramental would be ultimately that state of where death also will not be able to trouble. Yes, you.
Yeah, and Dr. Nirodbaran has confused that in 1935, Sri Aurobindo has already conquered over death. That's where this discussion came, and Sri Aurobindo was correcting him.
Yeah,
Then we also saw in the very big, in like in the middle, whatever we were seeing, that Dr. Nirodharan was asking for the permission so that he could go to hospital.
yeah.
And then he was asking whether he could take the bike, like bicycle. And then we saw
Mhm.
that Shri Aurobindo said, like, okay, he could take the bicycle if it was not getting stolen. That's all I remember.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, 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 Joji. Anybody would like to add a bit or a point or two, or we conclude after that to what Joji has said.
Yes, I just got a thought. Freedom from freedom.
Freedom from freedom.
Yes.
That is very interesting. Freedom from freedom,
Yes.
or freedom from the desire of freedom, we can say, isn't it?
If we talk about freedom, that
Hmm.
means we are into some duality.
Okay.
Okay, so freedom from freedom, totally
You
away
are
from
so free.
duality.
You are so
So
free that you are
free,
not
yes.
seeking. You're not
No
seeking to
life,
become
no
free.
death, nothing. No such
Acha.
thoughts. Freedom from freedom. It's just beyond everything.
Okay. And what is this connected with, Renuji? This freedom from freedom you are giving an energy for?
That is the supramental thing, the thought that
Acha.
one
Acha. So,
one who is going
okay.
beyond death, even that thought doesn't persist.
Oh,
The pain
okay.
of death and all those things, that doesn't
Okay. So
persist.
that would be the freedom in that
Yes,
supramental
means
consciousness.
everything. But it's really, I cannot explain. It's very, what can I
Like
say?
in the Siddha Kunjika Stotran, Omkari Srishti Rupai, Rimkari Pratipalika, Klimkari, Kama Rupinne, Bija Rupe Namustuti. Like these are the Bija mantras. Each of these create a manifestation in that continuous flow of manifestation happens uninterrupted in a full freedom. So that is probably what Renuji is indicating, isn't it, Renuji? In that freedom in that supermind,
Yes,
probably.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
So I think we all must try to be free from even we try to get that freedom from freedom and then become uh, liberators of ourselves and maybe the world as well. So I think with this we can conclude with the Shanti mantra. All right. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Yes. Hari Om. Can we conclude today's session? Looking forward to next week.
Hari Om,
Namaste.
thank you. And I would
Hari
like to congratulate you taking this opportunity. I
Okay,
just
thank you
got to
so
know
much.
this now.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ji. I was unable to tell before. There were certain
I'm
fortunate
very
or
happy,
unfortunate
really very
circumstances.
happy from within. I'm really happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ji. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaskar.